Welcome to my live teaching learning session of Principles of Microeconomics BECC 132. In previous sessions, you have studied about market structure of perfect competition, monopoly market, and monopolistic competition market. Now today we will do oligopoly market, which is also very important market form of this structure. Oligopoly market is that market in which only few sellers exist. As you know that in perfect competition market, there are so many large number of buyers and sellers exist. In monopoly market, only single seller exists. In monopolistic competition market or imperfect competition market, there are large number of buyers and sellers exist. But in oligopoly market is that form of market structure in which only few sellers exist. It means sellers are few, not more than 15 or 20. The examples of oligopoly markets are like soft drink industries like Coke, Pepsi, Sprite, and a few other competing in global market of soft drinks. In other example of this market is General Motors, Toyota, Maruti Suzuki, Hyundai, Ford, and other competing in the global market of automobiles. OPEC. OPEC full form is Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. OPEC is also the example of few oil exporting countries. Very few countries are exporting oil all over the world, like Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arab, Saudi Emirat, Kuwait, Libya, Venezuela, Algeria, etc. It means those nations who don't have petroleum, they can't export petrol. So OPEC is the example of oligopoly market. Oligopoly market is that industry which contains only a few competing firms. Next is oligopoly. What are the silent features of oligopoly market? There are so many silent features of oligopoly market structure. One is here few sellers exist in this market. Here sellers concentration exists in this market. It means few sellers mainly form cartel. Cartel means group of few sellers in which few sellers produces goods and services and fix the price of their commodity. They have mutual interdependence on each other because they want to earn maximum profit. So they mutually decide how much quantity they will produce and how much price they will fix. So there are few sellers which form cartel and earn maximum profit. Second is dominant firm oligopoly. In oligopoly market structure, there are some firms who have dominant power, who have price leadership, who have power of determining the price and output level. And some other firms are followers. They only follow that price or that quantity of the product which leader firm decides. So oligopoly market has dominant power to decide product and price. Here rivalry among symmetric firms. It means those firms who are symmetric or producing homogeneous product or producing same product, they have competition. And we can explain with this competition or rivalries among symmetric firms with the help of Cournot model. Next is, in this market, the nature of demand curve is always kinked demand curve. Kinked demand curve was explained by Paul M. Sweezy. According to him, under oligopoly market, there is no certain demand curve exist in this market. It means demand curve is not perfectly elastic, same as perfect competition market. In this market, demand curve never be more elastic, never be less elastic. Sometimes demand curve will be elastic and sometimes demand curve will be less elastic. When demand curve shows two conditions of elasticities, in the beginning, demand is more elastic and at the last, demand is less elastic. So, demand curve is always kinked shape curve under this market structure. Next is features of oligopoly market. The main features of oligopoly are elaborated as follows. Number one is, in this market, only few sellers exist. Sellers are very few, so all these sellers mutually decide their price and quantity of the output. Second is interdependence. Under this market structure, firms are always interdependent on each other. When firms are few, they mutually decide how much quantity they will produce and how much price they will fix. Next is non-price competition. Like cold drinks industry is the example of oligopoly market. Cement industry is the example of oligopoly market because only few sellers exist. Under soft drinks industry, same as few sellers exist in this market. And automobiles industry is also the example of oligopoly market structure. And OPEC countries are the best example of oligopoly market structure. So here price competition does not exist in this market because all firms, when mutually decide the price of the commodity, then there is no competition between the price of the product. Next feature is barriers to entry of firms. Under this market structure, there is restrictions on entry and exit. That's why only few sellers exist in this market. If there will be fully freedom regarding exit and entry, then sellers will be in large numbers. But in oligopoly market, there are barriers or restrictions, or firms maybe only those firms can enter who have too much money power and those firms who can produce more products and who can earn economies of scale with the help of production of goods and services. Next point is role of selling cost. Under oligopoly market, there is more need of selling cost. For example, as you have seen in TV, there are too much soft drinks industry spending money on advertisement for selling their product. Next feature is group behavior. Here all the firms behave in a group. It means all the firms produces goods and services with the help of mutually interdependent on each other, and all the firms behave in group because all firms are mutually interdependent and they always determine the price of the commodity and the quantity of the commodity with their mutual decisions. Next is nature of the product. Under oligopoly market, product nature may be homogeneous or may be differentiated. Some firms produces homogeneous product and others produces differentiated product. For example, OPEC countries means Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries always supply crude oil in homogeneous form. Cement industry produces same type of cement. It means product is homogeneous. But soft drinks industry produce differentiated products. Automobiles industry produces differentiated car or differentiated product. So in oligopoly market, firms can produce homogeneous product or it may be differentiated. Next feature is indeterminate demand curve. Under oligopoly market, here demand curve is not certain in any other markets. As you have studied in previous sessions, in perfect competition market, demand curve is certain and remains always perfectly elastic because perfect competitive firms are price taker, not maker. Price determined by the industry's demand curve and supply curve intersection. And perfect competitive firm always take that price which is decided by the industry's demand curve and supply curve or market forces. So in perfect competition, demand curve is always certain or perfectly elastic, horizontal or parallel to the x-axis. In monopoly market, demand curve is always downward sloping curve because in monopoly market only single seller exists and monopoly firm always, if he wants to sell more goods, then price will be lower, and if monopoly firm wants to sell less goods, then price will be higher. As we know that demand is always inversely related with price level. At higher price, demand will be lower, and at lower price, demand will be higher. And in monopoly market, there is no close substitutes exist due to only single seller existence in this market. That's why demand curve is downward and steeper or less elastic. In monopolistic competition market, the nature of demand curve is certain or more elastic and downward sloping curve. Due to close substitutes availability in the market and large number of buyers and sellers exist, that's why demand curve is always downward sloping curve and more elastic or more flatter. But in oligopoly market, we can't determine the definite demand curve under this market due to the feature of price rigidity. In this market, there is price rigidity exists. Now, what is price rigidity? Price rigidity means in oligopoly market, only few sellers exist. And few sellers determine the price of the commodity. If one seller wants to decrease the price level, then others also have to decrease the price of their product. But if one seller wants to increase the price of the commodity, then others will not increase the price. They will rigid or they will strict to that price at which they are selling their product. So due to this feature, price rigidity in this market, demand curve remains always indeterminate or kinked shape curve. Next is features of oligopoly market. We can elaborate these features like few sellers under the oligopoly market. The sellers are few and the customers may be in large numbers. Few firms dominating the market and enjoys a considerable control over the price of the product. Hence, there is a complete interdependence among the sellers with respect to price output policies. All the sellers mutually decide how much quantity they want to produce to earn maximum profit and how much price they have to fix of their product so that they may earn maximum profit. So oligopoly market is that market structure in which only few sellers. The examples of oligopoly markets are like automobiles industry, soft drinks industry, cement industry, and OPEC countries. Next is nature of demand curve under oligopoly market. In this diagram, AR curve in the beginning is more elastic. That's why this curve is more flatter and downward sloping curve. But after that, this curve becomes steeper or less elastic. So when there is two condition exist in a same diagram, in the beginning demand is more elastic and at the last demand is less elastic. It means demand is not certain or not remains fixed at each level of price or output. So in this case, demand curve shape will be called kinked demand curve. And this diagram was explained by or presented by Paul M. Sweezy. Why this demand curve is always kinked under this market? Because a key feature of oligopoly market is interdependence between firms. When firms are mutually interdependent on each other and mutually decide the price and quantity of the product, this results in the model of the kinked demand curve. Next is demand is price inelastic in response to a price drop due to competitors following suit so as not to lose market share. Because if soft drink industries like Pepsi want to increase the price level, then other firms will not increase the price of their product. But if Pepsi industry decrease the price level, other soft drinks industry must have to decrease the price level. Otherwise, they will lose the customers. So when price falls or leader firm decrease the price level, then other firms will definitely decrease their price of the product. But if leader firm increase the price, other firms will not increase the price. They will rigid or strict regarding the price of the product. That's why due to this price rigidity feature which exists in this oligopoly market, demand curve shape is always kinked or in the beginning more elastic and at the end less elastic. Demand is price elastic as we know that at higher price demand will be lower and at lower price demand will be higher. That's why demand curve is always downward, but in the beginning more elastic demand curve we will draw, and after that we will draw less elastic demand curve or steeper demand curve. MR always remains below that AR. This yellow line representing MR curve. MR is downward sloping curve and it remains always lower than AR curve. Here MC is showing marginal cost of the product, and if cost increases, marginal cost curve shifts to the upward. So this kinked shape curve always exists in oligopoly market. And this model suggests that there is a likely to be price rigidity in oligopoly market. Next is types of oligopoly. There are so many types of oligopoly market which exist in this market structure. Number one is non-collusive or collusive oligopoly. Non-collusive oligopoly is that market type in which all firms not cooperate, they always compete to sell their product and every firm wants to earn maximum profit rather than others. And under collusive oligopoly, firms always cooperate with each other in determining the price of the product and quantity of the output. It is called collusive oligopoly, or it may be known as cooperative oligopoly. But non collusive oligopoly is non cooperative oligopoly market, in firms compete with each other. An oligopoly market may be collusive or it may be non collusive. Next form of types of oligopoly market is perfect oligopoly and imperfect oligopoly market. Perfect oligopoly market is that market situation where all the firms produces homogeneous or same product. Like cement industry is the example of perfect oligopoly, and steel, aluminum, and chemical producing industries or OPEC countries are the example of perfect oligopoly market. But imperfect oligopoly market is that market situation where all the firms produces differentiated products. When firms produces differentiated product or heterogeneous product, it will be called imperfect oligopoly. Like soft drinks industry always produces differentiated product. Passenger cars or automobiles industry always produces differentiated product. So perfect oligopoly and imperfect oligopoly is also the main type of oligopoly market structure. And next form of oligopoly structure is oligopoly market may be open or may be closed. Open oligopoly means there is a freedom of entry and exit. And closed oligopoly means there is barriers or restrictions on entry and exit. Oligopoly market may be perfect oligopoly or it may be imperfect oligopoly. Oligopoly market may be open or may be closed. Oligopoly market may be collusive or may be non-collusive or non-cooperative. And oligopoly market has so many types like perfect, imperfect, open, close, collusive, non-collusive, and partial and full oligopoly. It means there are four types of oligopoly market structure. One is collusive and non-collusive oligopoly, in which if firms cooperate to each other, that will be called collusive oligopoly. If firms compete with each other, that will be called non-collusive oligopoly. Second form is perfect and imperfect oligopoly. If all firms produces homogeneous product, then it will be called perfect oligopoly. If all firms produces heterogeneous or differentiated product, then it will be called imperfect oligopoly. Third is open. If there is no restriction on entry and exit, that will be called open oligopoly. And if there is a restriction on entry and exit, that will be called closed oligopoly. Next is partial and full oligopoly. Partial oligopoly market is that market in which only leader firm will decide the price and output of the commodity, and other firms only follow that price which is decided by the leader firm. A firm has partial control over the market, that is called partial oligopoly. And if all the firms are leader firms, all firms have power to decide the price and quantity of the product, that will be called full oligopoly. So these are the types of oligopoly market structure which you have to learn about this. Next is types of oligopolies. We can elaborate collusive and non-collusive oligopoly in this form also. One is collusive. Collusive is an arrangement between firms to limit competition, increase monopoly, and increase profits. Why firms make collusive oligopoly? The main purpose of this collusive oligopoly is to restrict competition or to limit the competition between the firms and to increase monopoly power so that no other firms enter into the market and to increase the profit of their firms. Next is non-collusive. When oligopolistic firms do not agree or do not interested to cooperate to each other, whether formally or informally, to fix prices or collaborate in some way, that will be called non-collusive. Collusion. Sometimes collusion is preferred by some firms and sometimes non-collusive structure of market preferred by oligopolistic firms. Types of collusions. Now, here are so many types of collusions. Number one is cartel. Cartel means group of few sellers or group of few firms. If firms make groups or limit the competition between the member firms, the main purpose of this formation of cartel is to earn maximum profit. If firms collectively determine the price and output of the product, it means they want to avoid competition and they want to earn maximum profit. That's why they make cartel or group of few sellers. And types of collusion may be tactic or tacit and informal. It means firms maybe cooperate to each other and it may be in form of dominant firm or price leadership firm. So collusive oligopoly, under this type of oligopoly market, we can explain cartel and price leadership model. Next is difference between the different forms of market structure which you have studied earlier or at present the market which you are doing, that is oligopoly market. Now market structures are mainly four. Otherwise market structures are in so many large numbers, like there are so many types of market structure exist in our country, like perfect competition, monopolistic competition, monopoly market, oligopoly market, market may be duopoly in which only two sellers exist, market may be monopsony in which only single buyer exists, market may be in different forms. But in your syllabus, there are four types of market in which you have to study perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and monopoly. Now, first is perfect competition. Perfect competition is that market in which very large number of buyers and sellers exist, and all sellers produces homogeneous product and sell at same or uniform price. It means perfect competition market at present does not exist, but it is the base of all the market. Because at present, product is always in differentiated units or differentiated price exist in the market. There is no one firm which is always price taker, not maker, but perfect competitive firm is price taker, not maker. Next, monopolistic competition market is that market in which large number of buyers and sellers exist. And in oligopoly market, only few sellers exist in this market. And in monopoly market, only one seller exists. Like for example, the example of monopoly is Indian Railways. And oligopolies examples are like automobiles industry, cement industry, steel industry, OPEC countries, and soft drinks industries. And examples of monopolistic competitions are at present, we can see everywhere the examples of this monopolistic, like here in different types of biscuits, different types of shampoos, different types of surf, different types of toothpaste, which are the purpose of the product is same, but each and every company producing differentiated product in form of size, color, design, packing, they are making difference for selling their product, and they are attracting the customers for putting more advertising cost in selling their products. Next is perfect competition. In this market, product is always homogeneous or identical. In monopolistic competition market, product is always differentiated. And in oligopoly market, high level of differentiation exists. And in monopoly, product may be homogeneous or may be differentiated. Depends upon the decision of single seller. Next is perfect competition market. There is no restrictions on entry and exit. Each and every firm is free to enter in the perfect competition market. And in monopolistic competition market, there is also very low degree of barriers of entry and exit. In oligopoly market, there is very restriction, strict restriction, or there is barrier, high barriers of regarding entries and exit of the firm. And in monopoly market, there is very high degree of barriers to entry and exit. Perfect competitive firms are price taker, not maker. Price is decided by the industry's demand and supply curve forces, and these firms always take over that price which is decided by industry's market forces. Monopolistic competition firm is price maker. Oligopoly firms are always three markets. Only except perfect competition market, other firms are price maker. But perfect competition firm is price taker. This is the difference between these markets like perfect monopolistic competition, oligopoly and monopoly market. Next is prisoner dilemma. That is very important part of this oligopoly market structure. What is this prisoner dilemma? Here, prisoner is a criminal or a person who act illegally act. If we assume that here two prisoners are, one is prisoner A and other is prisoner B, and there is a dilemma. Dilemma is a confusion regarding taking decisions about what they have to do or what they have not to do. There are four options they have. One is if we are taking here two prisoners like A and B, and if we say that both prisoners are in different cells and they are no mutually dependent on each other while taking decisions regarding what they have to do. If both are in jail, if both confess their crime, then both will be go to jail for 5 years or 6 years. You may write anything, because here we are showing here only if two prisoners confess their crime, it means if they cooperate each other and if they mutually decide what they want to do, if their decisions are mutually interdependent, then both prisoners will get same punishment of 5 years. If one prisoner confess his crime and other prisoner not confess his crime, in this case, the situation will be the prisoner B goes to jail for 10 years who not confess his crime, and prisoner A who confess his crime due to his honesty, maybe he will be free or not to give any punishment. Next, next opportunity or next option is if A deny or not confess his crime and B confess his crime, then this situation will be reversed. In this case, prisoner A will go to jail for 10 years and prisoner B goes free. And if both the prisoners not confess their crime, then both will go to jail only for 1 year. Why? Because when both are not confessing their crime and there is no evidence between the crime which they have done, in this case, they will take only 1 year imprisonment or punishment. Now, which one is the best option for both the prisoners? Here is a dilemma what they will do, because both prisoners are in different cells, not in same cell, in which they can take decision mutually or take decision with the help of each other. In this case, if both prisoners confess their crime, they will take same punishment. If one confess, other deny, the person who confess, he will be free, and the prisoner who deny or not confess, he will get more imprisonment. Same as if prisoner A deny and B confess, then prisoner A get large imprisonment and B goes free. And if both deny, both not confess their crime, then both will go to jail only for 1 year. Now, this is payoff matrix. This box is called payoff matrix. This payoff matrix shows that the two prisoners have 4 options, and what they opt depends what they want. Is it clear? Next in this case, which one is the best option? We will say that best option is not confess. If both prisoners not confess, then both will get only 1 year jail. But it may not be possible because both are putting in different cells. They have no mutually contact to each other and they don't take mutually dependent or mutually decision with deciding the other prisoner. So it may be there 4 options, they may exist. And what is the best option? So best option deny, but it not be possible. So if both will cooperate or both will confess, then they will go jail for 5 years. Because if one agree and other deny, then one condition will be better and other will be worse off. Same as if prisoner A deny and prisoner B confess, then prisoner B condition will be better and prisoner A condition will be worse off. When the condition of one person is better and the other person is worse off, this situation is not good. So if both confess their crime, according to Nash, John Nash is the economist who said this game theory or prisoner dilemma. According to John Nash, equilibrium or Nash equilibrium will always determine where both confess their crime when the situation of both will not more good or more not more bad. That is the Nash equilibrium situation. So in case of prisoner dilemma, both prisoners confess their crime, they will get same imprisonment, and in this case, Nash equilibrium will be determined. Next is a prisoner dilemma. We can show in with the help of this table also. In this case here, same as two prisoners exist. One is A prisoner, second is B. This is payoff matrix. Here horizontal column boxes shows uh, prisoner A decisions, and vertical boxes shows prisoner B decision. If A remains silent and B stays also silent, both cooperates, both serves only 1 year imprisonment. If A keeps silent and B betrays or defects, then A serves 3 years and B goes free. And if a cooperate, it means if a person who cooperate and other who deny, then the person who non-cooperate or non-cooperative means who not cooperate or compete, that competitor will earn maximum profit and cooperative will be earn profit, not profit, it will be their loss. We can show prisoner dilemma in this form also. Next is game theory. Game theory is very important under oligopoly market. Game theory is also based on same the assumption of prisoner dilemma. Here we have two countries like country A or country B, or we can take firm A, firm B. It's not necessary to take only country A or country B. You can take firm A, firm B, or you can take producer A or seller A, seller B. In this game theory, here game theory is not a perfect game like cricket, hockey. It's a game theory of oligopoly market. As you have studied that oligopoly market may be collusive or may be non-collusive. Collusive markets are those markets in which all firms cooperate to each other, not compete. And non-collusive firms are those firms which always compete to each other, not cooperate. So if we take here this example, if we are taking two countries or two firms like A or B, same as this is payoff matrix. In this case, horizontal lines, horizontal boxes are showing country A's option, and vertical lines shows or columns shows country B's option. In first case, if both countries cheat to each other, it means if both are doing non-collusive form, or non-collusive means non-cooperative. If both firms are not cooperative, it means both are competing with each other. In this case, they will earn 4-4 profit. If one firm cheat and other firm don't cheat, as you know that at present the situation is cheater always gets good marks and the person who showed his copy that gets lowest marks. So a person who cheat or compete, that will earn more profit like 8, and the country B who don't cheat, that firm or country will earn only 1 profit. Same situation will be reversed in this case. If A country don't cheat and the country B cheat, then don't cheat will take only 1 profit and country B will earn 8 profit. If both don't cheat, it means both cooperate to each other, both are mutually dependent on each other and avoid competition, then they will earn 6-6 profit. So which situation, which option is good for country A and country B? In this table, how can you say that what is the best or Nash equilibrium situation exist in this oligopoly market? Now here 4-4 option is less, 8-1 option. In this case, one is earning more profit, one situation is better and the other is worse. In same as don't cheat or cheat, in this case, one country situation is worse and other country situation is better. But if both the firms cooperate to each other, both not cheat to each other, then both will earn 6-6 profit. So this game theory tells us how both firms can take decision when they can earn maximum profit. So this maximum profit situation is 6-6. It means if both firms cooperate to each other, then both will earn maximum profit. This situation is called Nash equilibrium. Nash equilibrium always tells us the strategy which each and every firm have to take for getting more profits. Next is models of. There is no single model of oligopoly behavior because here so many types of different types of oligopoly behavior exist, like cartel model and price leadership model, Cournot model, Stackelberg model, Bertrand model. There are so many different market. An oligopoly model can take two extremes. One is cartel model. As you know that cartel is group of few sellers or group of few firms. The cartel model is when a combination of firms acts as if it were a single firm and a monopoly price is set. Second is contestable market model. Contestable market is that market in which there is a freedom of entry and exit. If there is a freedom of entry and exit, then firm will earn normal profit in long run. And other models of oligopolies give price results between two extremes. So these are the two models. One is cartel and other is contestable market model. Next is barriers to entry. This is the main feature of oligopoly market. Oligopoly, like monopoly, maintains economic profits due to barriers to entry. As we have studied that this is the main feature of oligopoly market, there is restrictions of entry and exit. No one firm can enter and exit from this market because there are so many hurdles or so many barriers exist. What type of barriers exist in this market? The barriers of this market is like first is patents. If some firms gets patents, only they can run their business. And those they don't have any copyright or patent right, they can't enter into this market. Patent gives us the power to enter in the market. If we invent or discover any new thing, then we can get patent right. And if we get patent right, then we can make barriers for the other firms. The firm who don't have patent right, who don't have any discovery or invention, they can't enter into this market. Next is distribution control. This is also the main form of barriers to entry. If some countries or some industries fully control over the product and price, then no one firm can distribute the product in their area. So distribution control also exists in this market. Next is acquisition of a rival or merger. Due to the large money power or large technological invention, these oligopoly firms always increase their power with the help of merger and acquisition. Next is government regulations that limits competition. Sometimes government put restrictions to enter into the market. Like government can create natural monopolies. If government creates natural monopolies, then it will be in form of oligopolistic market, or it will be also known as barriers to entry. Next is brand loyalty. Some firms have brand loyalty and other firms can't take their brand, can't sell, can't copy their brand. It means the branded product or brand loyalty also makes barriers to entry. And next is network economies. Those firms or those industries who have large network in all over the world. It means other firms can't enter in that market in which few sellers have full control over the product and price of the product. This is the barriers to entry. Next is key concepts like contestable market. What is contestable market? Contestable market is that market where an entrant has access to all production techniques available to incumbents and entry decisions can be reversed without cost. Next is hit and run entry. When a business enters an industry to take advantage of temporarily high or supernormal profits, that is called hit and run entry. Sometimes when temporarily firm is earning abnormal profit, other firms will enter into this market. And if firm bear losses, then some firm exit from the market. Next is sunk cost. What is sunk cost? Sunk cost is that cost which can't be recovered. If a business decides to leave an industry, the existence of sunk cost makes a market less contestable because sunk cost is that cost which can't be recovered by the firm. For example, advertising cost is called sunk cost because if a firm put expenditure on advertisement for selling their product, but if the selling is not increases or their profit is not increases, then the cost which incurred in the advertisement of their product that will can't be recoverable. That is called sunk cost, which can't be recovered by the firm after spending that money. Next is what is contestable market? Contestable market is that market in which there is a potential competition exists or freedom of entry and exit. Firms in contestable market face real and potential competition. The threat of hit and run entry from new rivals may be sufficient to keep the industry operating at a competitive price and output. The key requirement of a contestable market is absence of sunk cost. If there is a presence of sunk cost, then contestable market can't be formed. So there is a need of absence of sunk cost for the requirement of a contestable market existence. A perfectly contestable market occurs only when entry and exit into is perfectly costless. In other words, we can say that contestable market is that market in which there is a freedom of entry and exit. Next, conclusion. In this market, you have studied about what is oligopoly, what type of features in this market exist, and you have studied about the nature of demand curve of this market. Oligopoly market is that market in which only few sellers exist and all these sellers have mutual interdependent on each other. They mutually decide the price and quantity of the output. Oligopoly firms in other market structure, oligopoly is different because in other markets, demand curve is always a certain or a perfect structure of their demand curve. But in oligopoly market, the nature of demand curve is always kinked. In previous market structures, we determine the short-run equilibrium and long-run equilibrium of all types of market like perfect competition market, monopoly market, and monopolistic competition market. But in oligopoly market, we can't determine short-run equilibrium and long-run equilibrium in this market. Why? Demand curve is uncertain. Why we can't determine the price and output level under this market structure? Its reason is in market demand curve is always kinked, or it always in the beginning more elastic and at the end less elastic. When the nature of demand curve is not certain, so we can't determine the price and output level under this market structure. So price and output is always undetermined or indeterminate under this market due to the feature of price rigidity or kinked demand curve. Oligopolies can end up looking like monopolies or like competitive markets depending on the number of firms, how cooperative they are. Next is the prisoner dilemma, which you have studied in this topic. That is very important. Prisoner dilemma and game theory both only exist in oligopoly market structure. Prisoner dilemma shows how difficult it is for firms to maintain cooperation, even when doing so is in their best interest. Same as game theory shows how difficult it is for firms to maintain cooperation, even when doing so is in their best interest. Prisoner dilemma is the example of oligopoly market because we can show with this example how firms can take decisions and how firms make their strategy to earn maximum profit. If firms have options, different options, then they must have to take the best option out of the given options. So the best option, choosing the best option out of given option, this strategy is known as Nash equilibrium, N-A-S-H, Nash. Nash equilibrium was presented by John Nash Economics. John Nash Economics was the great economics, Nobel Prize winner economics who presented this game theory and prisoner dilemma. And policymakers can use the antitrust laws to regulate oligopolistic behavior. Oligopoly market have so many models like cartel model, price leadership model, dominant firm model, Cournot model. These models represent their mutual interdependence and mutual power of these markets. Oligopoly market always earn abnormal profit due to restrictions on entry and exit. So oligopoly market always earn maximum profit. Now oligopoly is that market in which firms always increase their profits by making restrictions or barriers to entry and exit. So now this topic is completed now. I hope that you understand this topic, oligopoly market structure, with this chapter, the total market structure of or different forms of market you have done or completed. One is perfect, other is monopoly, third is monopolistic competition, and next is oligopoly. These four market structure is in your syllabus, that is very important, which you must have to do. Thank you.